Hey, Dawn, thank you so much for hanging out.
Oh, Whitney, this is going to be fun today.
I am so stoked. Okay, so first and foremost, congratulations on your book.
Yes, thank you. That's like birthing my third child, by the way.
I do believe that. So, Live Wealthy. Tell us a little bit about the book, what people can expect, and why you decided to write this.
Yeah, so being a wealth advisor for 23 years, I really have sat in so many different client meetings and realized that people need both the technical advice on how they can build and keep wealth, and they also need the advice around the psychology and their relationship with money so they can live a life that's worth living. So the book, Live Wealthy, is really about the combination of those two things. And I teach people to go through a process. If they really want to live wealthy, they need to own their worth, earn their wealth, and grow their life.
Which of those do you feel is typically hardest for people to wrap their head around?
I think most people believe that they need to just focus on the technical advice. Like, I don't have money because I have too much debt, or I'm paying too much in taxes, or I don't have enough income, or I
Hmm.
spend too much money. But the reality is all of our wealth is built from the inside out. And I think the hardest part is for people to really understand. So owning their worth is where you're really understanding all aspects of yourself.
Hmm.
That's, you can't grow and live a fulfilled life if you don't fully know yourself. And then earning it is really about, of course, earning income, but it's also about, I like to say, earning the right to the next level of life. And for you to be able to do that, it's all in how you respond to the shit storms of life. So
Yep.
those are the two hardest things. I'm telling you, growing money is the easiest part because that's just the science. It's like you do this, then this happens. You do that, that happens. It's the human being behind the how tos is really what people need to learn about.
Well, and I love too because you have this kind of unique title where you are a behavioral financial. And so I'm curious, like, why the behavioral piece? Like, what made you decide to go after that credential? Like, why do you focus on that so much?
I sat in so many different client meetings and I realized that, clients were in the office because they wanted to not run out of money.
Right.
And then we would give them all the technical advice. And then I would find them like pretending not to yawn, but I could see them do that yawn where they're trying to hide it. And I was like, they don't even care about all this analysis work. What they really want to know is that they are going to have enough money. And I realized
Mhm.
that even if they had enough money, or they didn't have enough money, they still feared that they were going to run out of money. They feared this enoughness. And so what I wanted to do is go, "Oh, we need to up level our conversations."
Mhm. How do you begin up leveling the conversation? Like, where does somebody start?
It all comes down to, because this whole world of money is very complex. Like I said,
Yeah.
there's the psychology and the technical aspects. So to make sense of it all, you need to start with a financial plan. You need
Mhm.
to either hire someone or do it yourself, but you need to have a financial plan where you're going through all of the areas of money and you get to the why you're making the decisions you're making around your today and tomorrow. So that is the biggest thing, is that people just need to set up a financial plan
Mhm.
and then they keep tweaking it year after year. It's like once you've set it up, you're good to go. And then you just, based on where your life evolves, then you make adjustments to it. But it's like people just don't do, and they don't set up their financial plan. Less than a third of people do it. And
Yeah.
that's the tool that will solve everything for people.
Yeah. I feel like so often, sometimes just saying the word financial just freaks people out. We're like immediately like, oh my gosh, this seems overwhelming. I don't think I'm qualified for this. And I think that's definitely where financial advisors, planners can help out with that stuff. I'm curious from your perspective, like, what does a financial plan entail?
Yeah, a financial plan, a comprehensive financial plan is really looking at six key areas of wealth building. It's looking at people's cash flow, like their
Mhm.
spending and their emergency funds. It's looking at how to protect their assets and to protect the people that are most valuable to them in their life. It's like, how do you protect your plan? Because life is going to unfold and we need to have that protection.
Yep.
So it's about the cash flow and cash reserves, it's about the protection. It's about investment planning. Like, people don't just start investing. You need to have an investment plan inside of your plan. You need to understand when you're going to become financially independent and when and when is the time where you can actually retire? You
Right.
need to have a tax plan. Like you need to understand taxes. I'm telling you, if you want more money in your pocket, you gotta understand or have someone that works with you to understand how you can minimize your taxes from an income and investment perspective. And then the final area is estate planning. Like
Yeah.
how do you become resourceful and leave your resources, once you've passed away? So those
Yeah.
6 key areas are everything that goes into a financial plan. But I'll tell you, most advisors out there, they're building a financial plan based on a client's goals or your financial goals.
Sure.
But your financial goals and my financial goals are very similar. If you start to break them down, we
Mm.
all have the same financial goals. But what we do is we build the financial plan around the whole aspect of a human being, like not
Mm.
just your goals, but your core values, your strengths, your purpose, your vision, and actually understanding your weakness. And so when you build a plan in alignment with everything about yourself, you make
Mhm.
better money decisions. And we all want efficient money decisions so we can live our lives. And that's what it comes down to.
I love this so much. You're like speaking to my money nerd soul here. I'm
Yeah.
curious for you, Dawn, how did you get into the financial world? Like what was your draw to this? Did you have any like personal experience when you were a kid? Like what happened there that got you interested in this?
Yeah, I grew up in a really small 2,000 person town in the middle of Wisconsin or on the what is it, the western side of
Mhm.
Wisconsin. And I just always felt so limited. I had a dad who loved to save money to the point of, he wanted to retire early. And so we never had extra discretionary money to go have fun today or in that today time period. And then my mother, who was so anxious about money and she would spend money that she didn't have. And so I got all of these mixed messages every single day of my life from my parents. And living in this small town, I felt so limited. I'm like, well, wait a second. Why can't we wait? There's Disney World. Why can't we go to Disney World? Wait, why can't we go on an airplane? What wait, do other people like
Mhm.
I just started questioning everything and I just felt this like I got to get out of here. I got to create this life that has more energy to it. Like clearly I have energy. So I just that really bothered me as a human being and as a young girl. And so what do? Like you want a better life? You need more income. You want
Yep.
more income? You got to figure out how to make it. Well, let's learn about how money works. And that's what I did.
That's fantastic. So did you go to college to learn this or was this something that came after college and
Yeah.
you're like stumbled into it?
Well, the real story is I went to college because I wanted to be a music educator. And then I realized, oh, I would suck at that. So then I went and worked on some cruise ships for a couple of years as a singer dancer
Sweet.
and, did the shows at night. And then I was like, ooh, this is fun, but it's not going to be my full time gig. So then I went back to school. So I got off the cruise ships and went back to college in Minnesota and got a degree. I didn't even know what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to be the first one in my family to get a college degree. So I went and got it's called a Bachelor's of Individual Studies, where you create your own your own degree. So I got a degree in management, finances, and theater because I didn't know.
Sweet.
And then I started working in hospitality, and oh my gosh, if you want to learn how to not make money, work in hospitality, because I think I graduated with my college degree and I got offered a $24,000 salary. So did that for a while, and I'm like, you know what? I had a friend that was a financial advisor. I'm like, wait a second, I like people and I'm good with numbers. What do you do? And
Yeah.
so I started to like really talk to him, and I was like, I was so worried because I'm not naturally, well, I'm a closet analytic. I'm a
Yeah.
closet nerd. But it was not like my first strength. And I'm like, I don't know if I can get this. Well, then I realized that
Mm.
financial advice is really, you can learn it. Anyone can learn it, right? You learn all the technical aspects, but it's really about giving people a better way of life and showing them what they need to do. And so it's like, if then I realized, wow, I can make this happen. So I didn't get into financial planning until I was in my early 30s.
No kidding. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay,
So then
so
it just grew from there.
and then okay, so when did you branch out and start doing this stuff on your own?
So I started at a Ameriprise where you're a kind of a franchise owner. So I
Yeah.
always had my own investment, like kind of a franchise of the
Okay.
company. But I partnered with different people throughout the way, and then realized I left Ameriprise and went to Charles Schwab because,
Mhm.
I don't work for Charles Schwab, but that's where we hold all of our clients' investments at because they give you this flexibility and freedom. I'm now what's called a
Yeah.
registered investment advisor. So I can create my own website. I can create my own brand. I can be like, you know what? Our industry needs, we need women, by the way,
Mhm.
and we need to give advice differently, not just the technical advice, but we need both. And you can't do that if you're a franchise of another company. So then I branched out and did my own about 10 years ago. And so here I am, like
Way to
just,
go.
yeah, like doing my thing.
That's so great. I love that so much. And so,
Yes.
do you primarily focus on helping women, or is it just like that's just where your passion lies?
So, I have an investment firm called Releve Financial Group, and that's where I've been an advisor for 20 some years. And that is mostly couples. It's usually
That's cool.
executives that have stock options and 401ks, and they have some bonuses, and they don't really know what to do with their money. They need some guidance. So
Yeah.
that's the majority of the investment firm. But that investment firm, you have to have a $500,000 minimum to get that
Yeah.
concierge type of service. And then over the last 5 years, I developed a digital online platform that serves clients that have nothing or debt to $500,000 of investable assets. And that digital platform is really where it serves more of the women entrepreneurs,
So
the
cool.
small business owners that they're like, wait, I'm not making the money I want to make yet, but what do I need to do? So that's where, I don't really say I just help women, but I think just the way my personality is and the brand is, it just naturally attracts people like myself where, they're women that are out there seeking more, and they might be married or they might not. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. What is your platform called?
Well, the name is called Dawn Dahlby. That's my name, but we have a digital platform called well, it's a Live Wealthy platform, but there's
Mhm.
so many courses under Live Wealthy. There's a Start It course, which is a 90-minute course that's free. There's an Align It course where
Mm.
it's 197, where you're getting your financial plan and you're understanding how to make more money and minimize your taxes, and having the right type of spending plan, not a budget, which you may agree or disagree with me on, but I don't like budgets. I like spending plans. And
Yeah.
then there's a Grow Up program where someone's out, they're like, hey, I need help with like really building this foundation financial plan, and I need help with everything regarding the assets and all of that kind of stuff. So there's something for everyone there. Just depending on where you're at with your wealth building journey.
That's fantastic. Let's dive into I usually for my people that like to spend money, I do call it a spending plan. For the more nerdy people, I'm like budget, okay?
Budget,
Same thing.
same
But I'm
thing. Yeah.
curious but I'm curious for you. Why do you choose the terminology spending plan?
Because I think we have this negative connotation that budgets are limiting. It's the same word as diet in the health field.
Totally.
Like diets don't work, right? We know that.
Right.
And I think a budget just makes you feel like you have to be like, and that's not how life is. Like we have
No.
different expenses every month. And so it's about, it's about creating flexibility and fluidity with your money so you can still live for today as well as plan for tomorrow. And that's what people in your community, if you're on a budget, people feel like they can't live. If you're on a diet, you feel
Yeah.
like you can't have pizza. Well, I want pizza. I can't
It's
have
true.
pizza 7 days a week, but I want pizza on Tuesday. Can I have pizza on Tuesday? Yes. And it's the same thing with your spending plan. You want a Starbucks on Tuesday? Great. You want your designer shoes on Wednesday of June, then you can't have another pair until June of 2040, maybe. But you know what I mean? It's about giving you choices. And we're all human beings. We all want choice. We all want to be able to be in charge and in control of our decisions, and knowing that they have consequences. We might not be able to have it all, but we can have what we want and the things that we truly value.
Mm. I'm curious for you, how do you personally prioritize the different wants in life? Like it can
Mhm.
be a little bit overwhelming. Do you have like a system or a way of
I
thinking
do.
about it?
Yeah. I have people go through a core value exercise where they're
Mhm.
picking out their top 5 core values. And then what we do is you start to assign, are those values costing you money? Is it an expense? Or are you making money from that value?
Mm,
And then you peel it back even further. And if it's an expense, then you start to assign those expenses that are in alignment with your core values. And then what I advise people to do then is have a bucket in their spending plan of 25% of their real net income that they
mhm.
can spend on their core values guilt free.
That's huge.
Yeah, right? And so they can have this like opportunity. And so we build it into this plan where it's like, okay, after your real net income is after you've paid your taxes and saved a percentage for your future, then 25% of your money can be spent on your core values. What are they? Is it health? Are your core values people? Are your core values excitement? Are your core values adventure? Are your core values like integrity? Like if whatever they are, it's like
Mhm.
start to assign an expense to that and go like, okay, this is in my spending plan, and now I
Mhm.
get to spend, but I can't go over that 25%.
I
Or
love that.
right, or if you have too much debt,
Right.
or if you don't have enough income, or if you don't have enough, then maybe it's not 25%. I want people to get to 25%, but maybe people have, I say you should have 35% of your real net income on debt. Well, if you have too much debt, then we got to give it up somewhere. So then we start to have those
Mm,
real money conversations. And it's
yeah.
really about solving the why you have the debt, right? Why are you not being able to spend on your core values, and
Mhm.
how do we fix it? That's how you give real advice. You give the why first. We figure
Yeah.
out the why and we go to the how after that.
I love this advice too. I think it makes a ton of sense. And so often I feel like people they almost skirt past that. They just immediately dive into the tactics instead of like
The how.
pausing and saying
Hmm.
the why, the what,
Hmm.
what the heck am I doing here? Is this from childhood? Like what's the
Hmm.
money story? So I really like that you're encouraging people to start there.
Yeah, it's so important, but we can't just do the why, right? We can't just mindset or manifest or
No.
understand
I
our
wish.
right or understand that all of our baggage comes from our childhood. Like
Right.
we need to understand that, but we also need the how to build the money. Like how do you have money work for you, and what do
Yep.
you need to do in this financial plan? So having both is the key, I think, to true financial success.
I totally agree. One of the things that I really liked about your book as well is you talk a lot about these like fears of money that we sometimes have. I'm curious, what are some signs if you're working with clients or you hear somebody talking where you immediately are like, ah, there could be a fear of money there?
Hmm. I've sat in meetings where I've worked with clients for 2 decades. And with our financial planning software, like I can tell them with a 99% probability that they're not going to run out of money. And you'd expect them to be like, woohoo, like like it's party
You
time.
would think.
You would think, but then I get this, oh my gosh, like that's not enough now, and now I want more. And I get it.
Mm,
We all want more because we're
sure.
constantly growing and evolving. But what happened is I realized that fear was dictating their decision to want more. And it was the fear of either not having enough, or it was the fear of not being enough.
Mm,
So it was either a fear around, not having enough, which is they want more money, or not being enough is because they usually have this emotional spending going on. And so it's like really understanding the behavior of why clients were making the decisions that they were making. And I'm like, wait a second, you have X amount of dollars and you're still like buying $2 wine at Trader Joe's?
right.
Like, do you really want it? If you want it, great. But if you don't like it, like what's going on? It's like, again, the technical advice of how much money they had, right? So educating them technically on how their portfolio continues to grow, but it's also understanding, oh, you're still stuck in your 6-year-old brain of listening to mom and dad and grandpa going through the depression saying we don't have enough, right? So you
Right.
need to understand that. And that's what gives people this freedom. Like my whole goal in life is to have people live in freedom and security at the same time. Like I want people to be free. I want them to live
Mhm.
their version of them and be free and comfortable in their own skin and having the money to support that. And so you
Yeah.
need all this advice to get there.
That makes sense too. From your perspective, is there like some quick calc or something we can do to see if someone's like, but I'm always afraid I'm not going to have enough money. I don't know if I can support my lifestyle. Is there like some rule of thumb that they can lean on to give them a little peace of mind?
There is, there's you should have X amount. I don't have it memorized, but you should have, by the time you're 30, I think it's you should have
Oh,
three
yeah.
times your income, 40, four times your income, 50, that's a rule of thumb, but you know what? That's not really that accurate because what it comes down to is really how you want to live your life.
Yep.
Um, so here's a hypothetical. Here's an easy rule of thumb. Let's say someone says, I want to live off of um $100,000 every single year and I don't want to work. And let's say out of that $100,000, 20,000 is going to be Social Security. They're lucky and they're going to get $20,000 from Social Security. So that's a
Okay.
net $80,000 that we have to get income from somewhere, right? So either you're going to grow your investment portfolio, you're going to have some side income or whatever. But if
Right.
you take whatever money you need and divide it by 4%, that's what's going to tell you what you need in an investment portfolio. So $80,000 a year, never work again. That says that you need a investment portfolio of $2 million because you can draw 4% off of that easily every single year.
I love that reminder for people because I know that it like on this podcast I talk to a ton of people that are very interested in fire, financial independence, like all of that stuff. And that's one of the things that most people have such a hard time accepting is like, I have enough. I'm going to be okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where I read this stat, but it was saying something crazy about so many people are not even spending down enough of their portfolio. And I was like, wow, what a sad thing to think about that we're not even enjoying our money to the full potential.
Right. Because they don't have a plan. A plan will tell you
Yeah.
a right type of plan, it's going to look at different rates of inflation, different
Mhm.
returns of sequences, different like tax rate. It's going to look at everything. And that's where you're going to get, within a ballpark, like we can predict
Yeah.
within 99% probability. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, people just need that plan. Let me ask you a question. Is that okay?
Mhm. Of course.
Do you like the fire? Like, do you believe in fire from a money perspective?
My philosophy has changed over the years. I love it from a financial perspective. I have found for myself, I don't think I ever want to officially retire. Like I
Mm,
really enjoy working and
mhm.
I think I will probably always have my hands in different areas, but I don't think I'll ever want to fully depend on the income.
Okay, that's interesting. And FIRE is really about getting to like financial
Yeah, like
independence
stopping.
faster. Yes.
Yeah,
Stopping working, which, yeah, our generation is very different than our parents and grandparents on that
totally.
for sure. However, part of FIRE too is really like having no debt and living in a tent, not really, but like living
Sure, yeah.
super minimalistic, right?
Right.
Until your 40s or 50s or whatever. And I don't know if I'd want to do that. Like
No,
personally,
like I
like,
don't
oh,
either.
like
Yeah,
when I was in my 30s, I wanted to spend money on my kids. I was having babies. I
totally.
was like, I wanted to
Growing
take
your
them to
business.
Disney. Yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that because in my personality is probably like, we can have the best of both worlds if
I
we
think you
plan right.
can too. I
Yeah.
really do. I think that's one of the things that I've been loving watching is how fire's starting to change
Mm,
because so many people are like, I don't want to just coupon clip and do all, like that sounds terrible. And for those that love that, that's fantastic.
mhm,
But for me, that's never something I really resonated with either. And so I do like that it's starting to change. Now they have what's called fat fire, where it's like now I want to live on, a couple $100,000 a year. That's my income that I want to retire off of. And so I think it's fun to see that evolve over time.
right. No, and everyone has it comes down to again aligning your personality and your strengths and your core values to your financial plan because um like for me when you even said clip coupons I was like, "Oh,
Totally
because
right.
and because here's how my version of me works. It's like,
Mhm.
wait, I could spend time to like that could take an hour
Right.
or longer, or I could take that hour and make more money than the $15 I'm gonna save by cutting out.
100%.
So that's how my mind works, and so that's why and because I have a lot of energy, I'm like, "I can't sit still to do that, I'd rather be working."
You and me both, friend. I completely agree with that. I'm curious,
Yeah.
have you always had that mindset of I'd rather just earn more money, or was that
Mhm.
something you had to learn?
No, I think life, we all have talents and skills.
Mhm.
Well, we develop skills. We all have talents and gifts when we're born. And I feel like I was just born with this looking for more and what's better and what's more
Yeah.
efficient. And so I'm not saying that's right. That's me. And
Yeah.
if you're not like that, that's okay too, because
Mhm.
then you're looking at a different lifestyle that's important to you. And then you don't have to go on the fast track to make seven figures of income or eight figures of income. You can actually go, oh, like this. That's why I want people to align their money to their life and who they are and their
Yeah.
values and how they think and the strengths that they have, because
Mhm.
that's what really, at the end of the day, Whitney, you and me, we just want to be happy and fulfilled, right? Your version
So
is
much.
different than mine.
Yep.
And so that's all we're striving for. And then people just don't take the time to understand, well, what does that fulfillment look to you? And I'm like, well, wait, if you go through the live wealthy process, you're going to understand that you're going to make better decisions with your time and your money, because those are the two most valuable resources you have as a human being.
I love that so much. Do you find when people initially come to you and they're trying to get their investment in order, they're like over that $500,000 portfolio, we'll
Mhm.
say. So when they're getting to that point, what are some of their struggling points at that range? Like, is it they're trying to figure out their spending plan? Is it they just aren't sure what to do next? Like, what do you feel like is holding people back there?
I don't know if it's not holding people back. I guess what I would recognize is that usually the husband and wife or the spouse or significant other has
Mhm.
very different ideas about money,
Yes,
right? Because we typically marry opposite of ourselves. So it's like,
100%.
okay, so it's getting them on the same page. And then what they really struggle with is, I think, how much is enough? Again, it's that enoughness, because I think
Yeah.
so many times people feel like all they do is work, work, work. And that the faster technology we have, the harder we're working, which is opposite of what we think what technology would do for us. And what happens is they're like, am I just working to pay extra taxes? Like they want to know the numbers. They want to literally know what they're up against technically with their money so they can make
Mhm.
better time decisions. And so many people aren't in the position to do that. Like less than a third of people actually have a financial plan. And I'm like, why?
Crazy.
Why? I
Yeah.
know why that is, but it's like, why don't you? Like just get a plan and all those other things work out.
It seems like from what I see, the part of the financial plan of the 6 different areas that you mentioned that is such a stumbling block for so many people is the estate plan. Do you
Mhm.
find that to be true for your clients as well?
Well, we don't do like in a financial plan, like we're talking about beneficiaries and we're
Yeah.
talking about the like, how do you want to leave your legacy?
Yeah.
And then we hire estate planners out. What have found is that so many times people, you're 100% right. People don't implement their estate plan because it's the decisions that they get caught up in. If something happened to me, who's going to raise my kids?
Yep.
And who's going to hold the money for my kids if
Mhm.
something happened to me? And they're facing mortality and they're facing like, I remember like, oh my God, my husband and I wanted to take a trip and we're like, oh, we got to get our estate plan done. Cause what if the plane goes down? It's like,
Seriously
really?
though.
Right. And that's when people do it, but then they don't implement it because it's like, it's just not the front of their mind every day.
Yeah.
It's really hard. In fact, I got to tell you the story. I have made clients implement their estate plan. Like I would say, okay, here's the attorney. We're going to set up the meeting. We're going to do all the things.
Yeah.
Um, and then they would still not sign the documents. And I
Mm.
would literally hire someone to bring in dinner in the office for them to sign their documents. I'm like, you want sushi? We're having sushi. You want a
Let's
bottle of
do
wine?
this.
Yeah, you want In-N-Out Burger? Like, we're going to do it. Like, you come in
It's so
and we're
funny.
going to figure it out. And that's what we would do. It's so funny. But that's when, then when the husband and wife are arguing, like, ooh, who's gonna, it's like, well, wait a second, let me take a step back because I'm not emotionally attached to your decision. Let me
Right.
guide you. And I would help them make a really well informed decision. They would sign away, eat their sushi, and get out of the office.
And have a great day.
And right.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I've had to do that multiple times with
I do
clients.
believe that. I think it's so tricky for people to take that step, and I think sometimes it's the avoidance. I don't wanna think about death. I don't wanna think about, there's a lot of emotion attached there, like you said, but you gotta do it.
And it's expensive, like,
This is
ho
true.
right? I mean, an estate plan can be, a couple $1,000, and so I think it's like, y "Oh, so you want me to pay, and then you want me to think about this?" And, like, "No,
Right.
thank you. I'll do it tomorrow."
Yeah, I feel very similar about prenups. I really do. I think a lot of people would probably do them more if they weren't so dang expensive.
Are they expensive? I don't even know.
Yeah,
Are
like
they?
about 4,000 on average is what I'm finding.
That's ridiculous,
Isn't that
especially for
crazy?
pe yeah.
Yeah,
I
but of
almost
course, if
feel
you
like that's a business opportunity for someone to find a way to charge less and get more people to implement. That's a true
honestly,
business, right?
honestly,
So you're
I hope
doing
somebody does it.
right, you're servicing the public that needs help,
It's true.
and you're doing it in a most cost-effective way. That's
It's so
fantastic.
true. I think it's
Mhm.
great too. It's a great idea. What do you do, Dawn, when you come across people that are couples, we'll say like traditional couples, they just are not on the same page. Like they go through these value exercises and
Yep.
they're still just like, I disagree. How do you do anything that helps them see that they're on the same team, or how do we do that?
Yeah, which is funny. So own it, earn it, grow it. It's the earn it process
Yeah.
that I take them through, which is really it's really about you can call it personal development, you can call it therapy, you can call it whatever you want, but it's really about proper communication, understanding that it's not all your way or the highway, especially in a marriage, and it's understanding each other and how to come up with a win-win because it never wins if one person is unhappy. So that literally it's so funny that you asked that, but the earn it section is really about earning how you respond to someone who thinks differently than you,
Mm,
earning the right to have a better relationship with your colleagues and how you communicate, having better emotional intelligence. Like how do you like my husband and I, oh my God, we've been married for 28 years. We've been together for 37.
what?
We couldn't be more opposite. We're high school sweethearts. I mean,
Aw.
seriously, like I'm an extrovert, he's an introvert. He finds his value in playing video games. I'm working. Like we are
Totally.
so opposites. And we had to like 10 years into our marriage, like go through this marriage therapy and understand, oh, this is
Mhm.
how a partnership works. And you can't just, you got to, it's again, it's wisdom and maturity. And that's what,
Right.
that's what earn it is all about is how do you have better wisdom and maturity with all of your relationships in
Mhm.
your world so you can grow your income and grow your life.
Ooh,
But
what's your favorite tips there on getting that wisdom and maturity?
I would say it comes down to two things. You can control the way you think. 100% of the time, you are in control of this, and so many times that this serves us up fear.
Uh-huh.
Um, but we can make a change in our thinking like that. So knowing you have the power to control your mind, and you have the power to not control, but to manage your emotions. And when you understand that, like we get like when I get fearful, I have anxiety, I have
Mhm.
all of the things, and I don't like that feeling. But I know that I can't control when I'm feeling anxious or pissed off at my husband or whatever. Those are real human being raw emotions. But I can control the way I respond to my emotions and then how I respond to the outside external person. And that is the magic and the secret of life.
That's huge.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. 100%. That is the secret. It's how you respond to life and yourself.
And it's so damn hard sometimes.
It is, but you know what? We need timeouts.
It's
Um,
true.
we
It's so true.
I'm 52. Like I need a timeout sometimes because I'm gonna like strangle my husband or strangle my teenage daughters or my dog. Like I need a timeout, and so you got to take timeouts.
I love that so much. Don, this has been a really fun conversation. I definitely have learned a ton from you. For everybody who wants to get their hands on a copy of your book, Live Wealthy, where's the
Yes.
best place to go for that?
I would say go to the website because we always offer extra free, like really killer resources. So the
Sweet.
website is my name. It's Dawn, Dawn, last name Dahlby.com.
Perfect. Dawn, this has been such a fun conversation. Before we officially part ways, are you down for some rapid fires?
Ooh, let's do it.
All right. Okay. Question number one for you. Where's one location you're dying to travel to?
Fiji.
Oh, fun. Yes. I haven't been either. That does sound great.
But the plane ride, ugh.
Yeah, that's a long one,
Yeah.
no matter where you are.
Exactly.
Okay. Next question for you. Are you more of a morning or evening routine person?
Routine?
Uh huh.
I would say I'm neither.
Oh, I love it.
I like my sleep. I can sleep in and I like to go to bed early.
Goals. This is perfect. I love it. Okay. So aside from your own book, what is a book you find yourself gifting or recommending most often?
The One Thing by Gary Keller,
That is
life changing.
so good. When did you read that in your career?
Um, about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Mhm. It changed my life. I was on a Disney cruise with my husband and my daughters who just were teenagers at that point, and so they were gone, like, they were out meeting new friends, and I was like, "What am I gonna do now?" So I grabbed that book, and I sat at the front of the ship, and I read the whole thing, and I mean, I still have highlights and notes, and I
That's
was like,
cool.
"Wow, focus on your one thing and your purpose, and everything else falls into place." And it literally is why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Oh, that's so cool. Very,
Yeah.
very cool.
Mhm.
Okay. What's one purchase you recently made that has made your life better?
Oh. My green Alexander McQueen sparkly shoes that are so beautiful that I went to bed in them one night
Stop.
because they matched my book. It was for the book launch, and
Okay. That makes
but
sense.
they're sparkly. Like I literally was like, oh, these are so beautiful. So that's kind of shallow, but that's the one big naughty purchase that I've made.
I
That
love it.
yeah,
That's
that's made
fun
my
though.
yeah
That's like
right
your I mean, for your book too, so it's
right.
partially a write-off, I'm sure.
100% yes. Yes. Of course
That's
they are.
amazing.
Yeah.
So awesome. Okay, my last question for you. In your opinion, what is the secret to financial success?
Is living your version of wealth. Wellth. It's
Yeah.
not chasing necessarily more, it's chasing the right wealth.
Dawn, this is so good. What a beautiful way to wrap up this conversation. I'm so grateful for your time. It was really fun getting to know you.
Whitney, I feel the same about you. By the way, you're a fantastic interviewer, and it was just
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you.